taking on Lion Esports Club. Let's take a look. Again, this is the losers bracket round 4 here. 1-0 current lead in favor of Lion Esports Club, of course. But AL trying to force a third game and stay alive here in what is cycle number 5. AL has yet to get a top 4 finish. I believe they have finished 5th/6th place once before, earlier on in the cycles, maybe even cycle 1. But trying to get their best finish yet with a victory here. Banning phase, blind bans, Parasite, Wild Soul coming out from AL. Wild Soul, Monkey King coming out from Lion. So again, the Monkey King, they do not want to have to deal with cookies in the Monkey King, man. But that does open up. Heroes like, well, look at that lock pull so far. Ophelia the first lock, then Keeper, Tempest are the responses. So I think we're at least going to have one jungler this game.
Could be the case, yeah. I mean, this is what a lot of teams do at net right now is they have 3 of those heroes open so that if the Legion team takes 1, then you take the other 2.
Yeah.
Whether it be, and most of the time in this situation, it's Legion will take Keeper, Lions will try to take Ophelia Tempest, and then run some kind of Suicide Tempest, and then with a tri-lane up top or something. But if you actually look at complexity, what they did, I think it's really cool, and some other teams have been catching on, specifically Lions is one of them that's done that as well, is they'll solo mid the Tempest and go aggressive jungle with Ophelia +2. Not to say that that's what they're going to necessarily do right now, but I have seen both Lions and Complexity do this a lot.
Yeah, that's something to expect here. So the locking phase finishing out, Glacius Fade, and then a Bubbles to go through it all. So no crazy locks this time around. Again, I've referred to the Pandemonium as the first game. Another thing I'm noticing is, wow, very quick commands right there, but no Master of Arms. Honestly, Lion Esports Club, They just love to not only play the hero, but they would always usually just lock him up with their first lock, whether it's the Hellborn or the Legion side. They just always do it. But, you know, this game a little bit different perhaps because of the situation at hand. And so going with the Keeper, Tempest lock, and then the Bubbles to finish things off. So kind of wonder maybe if AL is going to look to ban that MOA. I mean, they ran it themselves that first game. But, you know, how worried are you about it if Lion Esports picks it up again? Lions tends to play more of a support role, though, rather than the carry role, which we have seen a lot lately. So, anyways, the banning phase is moving along here. Moraxis, Engineer, Moon Queen, Plague Rider, and Pebble so far, and now it's on Lions to finish off the bans and into the first pick we go. It is going to be a Wretched Hag, actually, to finish things off. So,
yeah, it's crazy to me how I want to see the numbers of the success rate of MOA played as a support versus the success rate of MOA played as a carry.
Good point, yeah.
Speaking of Master, I see a picture right here, but he was played as a support for AL last game, and it didn't work out. It did not work out. And it's not to say that it was his fault and King Plato played it wrong, because he played well that game. He did play well. But I just think he's much more effective with farm early on. Specifically, I think he's much more effective with levels early on in that level 6. So think about if Master of Arms was soloing against Wild Soul, and then there's an engagement early on onto that tri-lane. How effective would that ultimate be, that global ultimate be, against in a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation? I think it would be very effective, because in those tri-lane versus tri-lane situations, you're trying to burst one person down, you're focusing fire on one hero. Well, if that hero gets a huge defensive master's call, then it basically stops them right in their tracks.
And it's usually so close, too, in those exchanges. So that big ultimate from MOA can make the big difference and, you know, give your team that a 2-0 hero kill exchange. So, so yeah, and you know, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. Again, more we've been seeing MOA kind of just theory craft from him about him a little bit, and that ultimate really is the thing that seems like we can all agree on. It's what really helps make him the hero that he is. And yeah, get the fact that if you do get in those early levels, having the early on call the master, then very effective. So Hammerstorm Draconis coming out here from Lion Esports Club. You look back to AL now, and again, it kind of depends how they want to run an MOA, but there is that silhouette on the board if they want to go with a solid ranged carry option themselves. This here in this part of the game, and again, you look at the lock pull, you figure, ooh, actually interesting. Pharaoh Zephyr are going to be picked up here. Now, Demented Shaman is on the board, but they're not going to take advantage of that. They instead go with Pharaoh Zephyr with their next couple of picks. So, interesting stuff there.
I don't know. I feel like the synergy of Pharaoh and Zephyr is kind of awkward. Like, yeah, you can pop the ultimate from Zephyr inside the Pharaoh mummy walls, but that's barring if he hits like 2 heroes in that.
Yeah.
And that's usually unlikely. And even if that's the case, I still feel like like there's going to be push books in the game. It's easy to pop him out of it. If there's not a reason to get a push book against the Pharaoh, there's definitely a reason to get a push book against Pharaoh and Zephyr.
Yeah.
So expect to see a lot of those pickups here on
Just
the
like last
team.
game.
Just like last game, yeah.
The Pandemonium, where we had the 2 early on. So Aluna's the final pick, and yeah, again, it's the AL. It's not only that, you know, the synergy, but it's again the fact that they had a chance to take Demented Shaman Zephyr, which you can argue is definitely one of the more stronger lanes right now in the game. And they passed that up, so you got to definitely look at that. And now with their first pick, I kind of wonder, are we going to see that Ophelia here actually coming out instead of the Keeper? But God, if you're sure, I mean, you're only going to get one of those 3, obviously, in the end. But if you're going to give Lion Esports Club Keeper and Tempest with a Hammerstorm, Luna, Draconis already, I mean. You're asking for trouble here. AL kind of is they're in a tough spot, I must say. They are going to go Keeper. Okay, you know, usually with the Zephyr, we do see that Ophelia. But they are going to go Keeper of the Forest. So now for Lions, it comes down to, do they really want to run a Suicide Tempest or not? You got to think it's at least Ophelia. Maybe that Glacius pickup as well to kind of secure it. But, yeah, that would be kind of awkward, actually, unless they run a solo Luna.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Glacius. I think it's going to be Ophelia plus Bubbles here. They're going to have the jungle, the Draconis in the short lane, the dual lane Hammerstorm Luna mid, and then Bubbles to Suicide. I think that's going to be stronger. The thing is, I don't think giving AL Keeper Tempest in this situation is really that bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so are you saying if you're AL, you would have rather seen the Ophelia?
No, sorry, excuse me. I had something in my throat there, but. No, I think you're kind of forced to pick Keeper because
okay.
in the situation Lions, I think Keeper Tempest would be much stronger because you already have your lanes set up right there, if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Hammerstorm, Luna mid, Keeper Suicide, Tempest jungles, Draconis solo short. Very, very strong. But for AL, it's like, yeah, Keeper Suicide. I don't think Zephyr MOA is really the strongest lane in the world. And then Pharaoh solo, Glacius Fade. So they're going to go 2 different dual lanes here.
Interesting. But
possibly a tri-lane.
See, now that opens up the Ophelia to be picked up, though, by AL, actually.
Yeah, I think definitely Ophelia.
Yeah.
Like, Keeper Tempest here would be fine. I think Keeper Ophelia would be even stronger.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting there coming out from Lions. So, yeah, don't know if I saw that coming, but, with the Glacius pick, of course, we talk about this. If they do happen to go Ophelia, now they will have to be concerned about that. The fact that they are going up against a Glacius, so they are going to go Tempest instead. Okay, so kind of an interesting finish there, but nonetheless, I mean, both teams do have some pretty sound lineups. I mean, you look at AL, more now that I am looking at it, I mean, that, as usual with the Zephyr lineup, it is a great team group up and push lineup, especially with the Keeper and Tempest on top of that, so that's no doubt something they have working for them. And, you know, when it comes to the lanes as well, it seems like it should work out too, so I guess AL in the end, they did finish off fairly strong. If you notice in chat right there, it looks like we are going to have a remake. I guess GG Slayer, who was the Bubbles last game, and it does make me wonder a little bit, again, because he's a great player, as all these guys are, of course, you know, if that maybe was affecting him a little bit last game, so as we were kind of criticizing him. But he is going to be swapped out for Mookies, it looks like. Going to bring in the Mookies here. So yeah, gonna just do a remake. Again, unfortunately, we'll have to go through the lock picking stage again, but hopefully they can go through quickly.
Yeah, our favorite thing in the world, really.
Yeah, love it. Understandable issue though. At least there is some logic behind it. Again, whenever you have situations like this, it's the worst ones are like, oh, I accidentally readied up on a hero I didn't want to play.
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh, facepalm. But in this case, again, he's getting delay. They want to bring in a substitute. Understandable.
And it's Mookies, and that's another thing too. They basically have a 7-man roster.
They really
of people
do,
that always play.
It's
not
with present
like
23 as well.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, this is our bench player. He never plays, only if we don't show up. It's kind of like, who do we want to field? Like, what 5 do we want to field today? It's kind of interesting.
Well, again, with them being kind of all West Coast and earlier on the weekends here for Saturdays and Sundays, I kind of wonder if the reason why they have that too is they fear not having 5 players on if they only had a 5-man roster. So it's really just that big-time safety net for them, making sure. But, yeah, they definitely have a set. You're right. I mean, that's you don't know which AL lineup. I don't know if you can say there is a set starting 5 for them by any means here. So,
yeah.
Anyways, Mookies is coming in for GG Slayer. And that means we got Cookies, Mookies, Creams, All they're missing is milk fat now.
I know. Team Dairy.
Team Dairy Products. Milk fat, of course, no longer playing the comp HoN. So we're just waiting for them to ready up and then, again, jump back into the lockpick stage and hopefully quickly go through it. But yeah, the push potential, group up and push potential is by all means there for Absolute Legends with their lineup, the Zephyr, the Keeper, the Tempest. You hope that they can take advantage of that. As far as Lion Esports Club was concerned, again, more of a visual person, I'd like to actually see the lineup again, but it seemed like there was a possibility of them going to be running 2 dual lanes. So it was Aluna, Hammerstorm, Glacius, Fade, Draconis. That's what it was. Yeah, possibly 2 dual lanes. They need a few mins, Breaky. Okay, apparently they need a few minutes, so.
All right.
Going to be a couple minutes here, if that's cool with you.
No.
Absolutely not. Tell them to ready now. No, no. Yeah, that is cool. I'm going to spell like that, too. So yeah, gonna apparently just have a couple minute break here between Lion and AL. It is kind of unfortunate because, you know, in moments like this, maybe it would be cool to jump into another match going on real quickly. But
yeah,
there is no other match going on.
Well, that was pretty cool to be able to cast that QSQ versus SG.
We are more than ready. Yeah, it obviously did open us to get both of the matches covered in the end, and you know, if both were going to be played today, like the default time was, then we probably would have covered Stay Green versus Q Squad. I think it's safe to say. So this, it was kind of cool that we got to see again, especially since it has been a long time since we've seen Absolute Legends specifically. You know, granted it's for good reason. They did drop down to gold and whatnot, but I know. And speaking of that, I mean, our 2012 HoNcast Awards that we did, they were voted the most entertaining team of the year. So
that's right,
especially with how they finished at the end there. So.
That's right. It's for reasons like we saw. They like to pick new and fresh, fun heroes, and I can applaud that. And I think they actually did well with it, and do well with it. And for that reason, it's fun to watch.
You know, we have been seeing. I've always been the advocate. I'll say this first, that you know I don't think the meta is as stale as people like to say, and you know, oh, we see the same exact lineups every single game. I don't think that's the truth at all. I think that is a little bit over exaggerated. There is some point to it, you know, with certain teams. You know, there are your complexity lineups, your trademark esport lineups. Let's be honest, that you know maybe a little bit more passive, and for some parts a little bit the same, but. On the other side of the spectrum, we got teams like OTP, we got teams like AL, we got Stay Green to an extent. I mean, plenty of top-tier teams that have been running more and more just different heroes and different lineups. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to see that. And actually, speaking of that, again, looking at hero stats, I tweeted about this actually the other day, how, believe it or not, Thunderbringer has the best winning percentage of all the HoN Tour.
Oh, really? He's so OP then. What are people thinking?
He's 1-0. He's 1-0 in Diamond Division. I want to actually find out who ran him, because it didn't tell me who. But yeah, Thunderbringer did get the buff though. Maybe he'll make an appearance again. But all right, so we are back in game number 1 or 2, I should say, as you can see. So into the typical Rampage and Artillery bands. I just hope you don't fuck up the locks here.
Yeah,
of course. Just make sure you only lock 4 heroes that are actually played. The other 2 just random. Seems like teams do have plenty of experience with this by now, so shouldn't be a big issue. Nighthound.
Yeah, do we count it? MOA, Hammer. Yeah, it looks good.
2 for either side.
And, well, Mookie's time's out, so the replacement is now lagging.
Go figure. Are they this is good. And what we weren't told is that they're roommates. So
yeah,
this wouldn't have fixed anything. No, obviously. That's just kind of funny that happened. Hopefully he reconnects here and he'll be fine, according to Cookies. Cookies knows Mookies fairly well. So he should be fine.
What does Mookies mean?
I don't think it means anything. It's just I want to sound like Cookies.
Okay. Cookies, Mookies.
Yeah, I think it's just a play on that.
Huh.
I believe it does, at least.
I'm going to make the account Wookiees.
That's got to be taken. There's no way that's available. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's taken by one of these guys, actually. So yeah, this really on Friday is when it kind of started. I guess even so this weekend started what's going to be plenty of HoNcast here. Granted, Trelf, of course, not with Trelf necessarily, going to be moving on to playing with OTP and playing on the scene, which will be fun to watch. But HoNcast in itself, we do got plenty of content coming up here, guys. Let me tell you. I mean, really over the next 2-3 months here, all the way through the finals of HoN Tour. I mean, we got the Thailand event. We're going to be at PAX for a special event coming up in March. I mean, we got obviously HoN Tour every weekend. We got these qualifiers for the GSL. So it's going to be daily content coming at you left and right here on HoNcast. So definitely look forward to that, guys. Definitely look forward.
Yeah.
Plenty to happen.
A lot of stuff coming up. Also, the thing coming up, I believe it's tomorrow, is the CIS tournament, the small CIS tournament with CIS and some EU teams.
Yeah, Beef was talking about that yesterday on the podcast. There's a post on Gosu Gamers, I believe, gosugamers.net/HoN. You can check it out. You guys should check that out a little bit more, by the way. I mean, fantasy specifically, actually, and I know Collapse also does some stuff over there. They do a fairly good job of actually keeping it updated, and I noticed that it doesn't really get as many comments and even views as it really deserves. So definitely shout out to gosugamers.net and check it out, the HoN section, of course, specifically for the content they put out. Yeah, that was how I found out. That was how I found out about that event. So there are things like that come out.
Yeah.
They also actually did a post about you, Trelf. I don't know if you noticed that.
Where is this?
Gosu Gamers.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Also, shout out to the viewers tuning in today. I know some of you might be experiencing some of the lag issues with the Twitch chat. Obviously, that's not on our end, and it's a little bit annoying, but hopefully they're able to fix that.
You can still watch the game, hopefully. That's ultimately what matters, of course.
Yeah. There shouldn't be any problems with the stream with that end, but with Twitch's end with the chat, this is a global problem. It's not just our channel. So just
no, I think for people that are tuning in, they'd probably figure that out. It's Twitch. It happens every once in a while. You know, especially with owned unfortunately going under. Well, whether or not you want to say it's unfortunate or not, but Twitch obviously they
won't say that's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. Twitch, I'm sure was, let's be honest, probably pretty pleased to hear that, but. I'm sure it's safe to say their numbers have probably increased quite a bit as well. So, you know, their infrastructure and everything as far as planning for that may have not been expecting the crazy increase. And I know that they've also been changing around their website design a little bit too, and the layout and everything. So it happens. Hopefully, though, in the end, you can still at least watch the stream, like I said. That's really what matters.
Well, hopefully he comes back in time, because if he doesn't, he's going to have to swap around his hero.
Gosh.
You know what he should have done is he should have picked his hero last, and it probably would have been Tempest. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
maybe Meisty can play Tempest. Who knows?
Maybe they will switch it around. Well, I mean, yeah, he's loading HoN. Okay, so he is coming back. That's the good news, according to Cookie. It's just either he has a wooden computer or just having to deal with some internet issues. But yeah. Okay, going into game number 2. If you are just tuning in, you missed out a pretty damn entertaining game 1. Also, if you didn't miss the Thursday's broadcast of Stay Green versus Q Squad, that is actually now on HoNcast. I actually just got that. It's been on YouTube for a little bit, but I finally got that posted on the HoNcast side. So you should check it out. It was a good series there. Like I said in the end, well, even though if you know the results, again, I'm not going to try to hide results from you guys. It was a 2-1 victory for Stay Green, but definitely should check it out if you missed it. Entertaining series there. Also released our HoNcast community rankings recently on the podcast. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah,
some interesting placements.
Pretty much a unanimous decision of having Trademark Esports #1.
Trademark #1, Stay Green 2. Yeah, that was unanimous from all the voters, but then after that's where it started to get pretty interesting. The Q Squad, Complexity, OTP, Line, where to place all these guys. Got cool. All right, is he actually back yet? I don't believe he is. You are no longer able to rejoin the game. There's no way he was DC for more than 5 minutes.
It was a long time.
Yeah, but I guess it might have been a pretty long time. Maybe try to... Usually if that happens, just joining off of somebody else works, but... Alright. Gonna have to remake once more here.
Love it, love it, love it.
Love it or hate it. Well, Don't love it. So here we go again. Take 2.
Take 3, technically.
Well, good point. This will be the 3rd time overall as we are going into game number 2. Let's hope that this one is the final time. Oh, Chuck said, damn it. Hopefully that's not a bad thing as they're loading in. All right, so they are loading in. Nope, nope, it stopped. It stopped. So
interesting.
Cookies. Oh, no, here we go again. Let's try it this time.
Oh.
You know who we were watching the other day? And I know probably a lot of people tuning in, but I haven't really watched him much. But Man vs. Game.
Ah, yes.
He has a stream here on Twitch. I know Killer Orange was actually watching. We watched a little bit after our cast yesterday. The guy's entertaining, man.
I think he's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, Killer Orange watching it during even. But yeah, he's a pretty hilarious guy. Shout out to Man vs. Game. I know he's tuning in.
Yeah, we were checking out his stream or his attempt of Quap.
Well, yeah, well, he was playing
Quap.
I think it was called like VVV or something like that. V, or I guess, yeah. He ended up beating that. That's pretty funny. And then yeah, we watched the video of him playing Quap. God, that game is ridiculous. Okay, I think this might be it though. Have you played this Bushwhack hero, by the way?
No, never. I played him once in a Mid Wars, but I didn't really get a chance to feel him out, like see what he can do.
Huh. I mean, the fact that he has an ability called Sidestep is
that's pretty cool.
That right there makes him competitively valuable.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Now you can actually say your Sidestep was on cooldown. Yeah.
True that.
Shout out to Zep Pro.
Oh yeah.
That's his forum signature, I believe.
Said,
"What's the matter, B-Kid? Your Sidestep on cooldown?" And now you can actually be like, "Yes, it was actually. It was on cooldown."
Well, I was playing Bushwhack, so yes. Pencils. Speaking of them, didn't they? I believe they got to I believe they finished 7th and 8th place, if I'm not mistaken. They've been doing fairly good here in HoN Tour, and that's kind of one of those teams that not the most popular team in the world, but at the same time they're just a sound diamond level team. Lion Esports Club, they keep giving the shout out to Inferno Online in Stockholm. I believe that's because specifically they're actually playing from there. I don't know if all 5 of them are there, but we did talk about this before, how they don't have a gamer house per se, but they do play from a LAN center quite frequently. In fact, their HoN Tour matches, I believe they've been doing a lot of those lately. So it's good to see, again, more and more of situations like that coming up from these teams. Getting that practice in that LAN environment and whatnot, and just getting that experience as being together in person too can help. So, yeah, shout out to Inferno Online. There you go. I'll help you guys out. Ooh, the team ready up.
I've seen a lot more of this actually.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's team synergy, man. Let's see if AL tries to respond. Where's your rebuttal? Oh, well, kinda. Nope, not really. Well, it was a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. OTP trowel from the door.
Oh,
it's actually happening.
Oh, shit.
We weren't lying. It is real. We were lying about you not casting this weekend.
Yeah.
That is happening, actually. All right. I think it is happening, Trell.
No way.
This might be a game.
This is when we hear toon, toon, toon.
Yeah, this is where we hear the pause come out and, oh, 1 second, guys. I need to use the restroom. Okay.
And then as he uses the restroom, the other team has a DC.
Why are we jinxing ourselves? Okay, here we go. The Hellborn team, Lion Esports Club. They got a Luna, Hammerstorm, and Glacius currently heading bottom. So we could actually see just an aggressive trial in here, but also we could just see them placing the Ward of Sight and then going off from there too. You do have Fade joining them, and Draconis just taking a little bit different of a route. See the UFO courier trying to spot somebody out. You got Pharaoh down here is kind of hugging the tower. Zephyr somewhat in the jungle, really spotting to see if they maybe place something or maybe get an idea of how they're going to land. But the Ward of Sight will easily be placed down. And it doesn't look like much action going to come of that. So, again, this Absolute Legends lineup, though, I keep looking at it and it's like, damn. I mean, they got some good group and push. Well, you hope for their side that they take advantage of that earlier on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, and that's what they're going to have to do. They don't really have late game. They have tons of team fight, tons of early on push, like you mentioned. So
Yeah.
they can't sit around and split farm and split, split push. They got to stay together. They have to get their core items, specifically Helm of the Black Legion, up on the Cookies, playing the Zephyr. Mandaring perhaps on Meisty, Mookies, whatever he wants to get. And actually it's going to be a Suicide Tempest and a Jungle Keep of the Forest.
Huh.
Or maybe perhaps Tempest is going to be in the opposite woods. These are jungle items, like the 7 Clarities.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
not a
Mark
lane,
of the
yeah.
Novice. These are jungle items, and also the items that Keeper has. Those are not jungle items. Those are like laning items. So
I wonder if it's because they think that they're going to try lane bottom.
Could
so
be.
you figure if that's the case, then obviously this would make sense. I mean, why risk getting roamed on and ganked as a result of that? So, to an extent, it's a 2-2-1 at least. So I can still see this, working out somewhat pretty well here from Mookies, as he will place the word of sight. And now that is kind of interesting. Despite him even being in the aggressive jungle, he still wants to block that pull there. And I always kind of wonder about that. If you're going aggressive jungle, the fact that you still block it, whether that is the most efficient move there or not. But nonetheless, Mookies will block it.
I don't think it's very efficient either. I mean, the likelihood of you seeing the lanes and having them come up and start stacking and pulling that right in front of your face is not very high. You could easily use that pull, or sorry, the camp to get some farm yourself. And they are Ochres actually to start, and those are actually favorable creeps for Tempest early on.
Yeah.
But he's going to find the Vultures. Those are great for him. The Vagabonds are one of the best, honestly, in farming. Then he's gonna, I mean, it doesn't really matter, honestly, what camps you're fighting with Tempest because of his elemental splitting and whatnot. So.
Yeah.
But he is here offensively. I will say that will possibly set up some good ganks here in the mid.
Yeah.
Like running behind him. They do have a kind of defensive ward behind him, but it doesn't show that much. And right on cue, he's actually going to start right now.
He's going through it, and here we go. Zephyr with the gust. Luna realizing quickly she's in trouble. Here comes the stun for Tempest, only level 1 set, of course, but the minions are here with the auto attacks. Yes, it will barely be enough. Health potion at the last second, not going to be enough. And Mookies will get credit for the Bloodlust kill. So you said it, Trell, pretty much right on cue there. Mookies heads over, gets the Bloodlust, and that no doubt caught the Hellpoint team off guard. I was just about to say, too, were they going to be aware that Tempest wasn't even in their jungle until it was too late? Sure enough, they didn't, and Bloodlust kill set up. So Glacia's going to roam here mid with an Invis rune, though, and this could actually be dangerous now for Master of Arms and Zephyr, especially with the Luna perhaps porting back in, or she's running back.
Well,
but
and they have no vision of it. They don't even have vision of the ward or the rune. They, in fact, only have one ward placed, and that's to block the spawn that shouldn't even be blocked in the first place. So warding coming out early on here is not very effective from Absolute Legends. It could pay off here for Lions.
Yeah, Zephyr going to be initiated. There's a Burning Shells, a stun from Luna. Great staggering the stuns right there from Lion Esports Club. I don't think there was any overlap whatsoever, and Zephyr just falls. So Cookies, again, we saw that coming from a mile away as a spectator, but that goes back to what you were just talking about. I mean, there's no rune vision here, no river vision. I mean, just nothing. Pretty much no vision, frankly. I mean, this ward of sight obviously really doesn't give you anything other than just blocking the camp. So, yeah, you definitely got to question that a little bit here from Absolute Legends, despite them getting the Bloodlust kill early on.
Yeah, Glacius is roaming now in his own jungle, trying to find a spot out this Tempest. And Tempest is kind of running around. Like, he didn't decide to farm any of the camps. He saw that Glacius was maybe running into the jungle and was going to dodge him. And now run back to his own jungle. But see him kind of just walking around here, like all this little sidestepping and stuff, it's just kind of waste of time. He decide where he wants to go. Yeah. And he is only level 3 right now. And we could see a possible gank here in the mid. The Burning Shadows hit Zephyr. There's the stun to follow. Here comes Glacius. No, he actually gets gusted for the time being, but there's the Ice Imprisonment. Is it going to be enough damage? Yes, it is. And Zephyr falls for the second time now early on here in only 3 minutes. And this is the hero that you need to get absolute free farm. Yeah. So this is not a good start at all for Absolute Legends.
Well, it's almost as if Lion, they've really transitioned him into somewhat of a tri-lane here mid, and I don't think that, obviously I don't think that's necessarily the case, but that's kind of what's been happening. I mean, the fact that Glacius roamed in with the Invis, got the Bloodlust, or not the Bloodlust, but got a kill, and then eventually came right back and got another kill. So clearly just making sure to lock down this Zephyr. Glacius will protect the double damage rune spawn here at the bottom lane. Krepson playing this Fade. I want to say, I don't know if she actually purchased a bottle. She did purchase boots first, so maybe doesn't have that bottle just yet, as the courier is being sent back to base. But double damage rune is going to sit there for now. It actually is just going to be, okay, it was bottled up by Glacius, so he had the bottle. And now he hands it off to Aluna, and Aluna will probably hand it off to Fade. So it's just some good teamwork right there. As Glacius did actually use the double damage himself, he is spotted, though, by Pharaoh using that Tormented Soul. Now, what this has done, because of the Glacius playing in that mid, it has freed up Pharaoh a little bit for sure, and it has allowed him to at least get some nice levels and some actually decent farm himself. But, you know, he needs to be careful now not to get ganked actually by this Glacius, which, like I said, he did see coming, so should be fine. But
I mean, yeah, it's freeing up the Pharaoh, but I really feel like Zephyr is such an integral part to the AL lineup, and that he's the one that needs to have the farm and not have it hindered at all. He has a bottle early on here in the middle lane, which I think is pretty standard just simply because he is in the middle lane and going to have access to the runes, but Lions has done a good job about camping those runes and controlled both of them so far.
Bottom lane is what we're talking about. Creams is in some trouble. Mummy Walls goes up. It will block Glacius a little bit. Can he get into the tower time? Hellfire going to be used right there. That may be the saving grace, and it looks like it will be. Hammerstorm has a stun in 2 seconds. Pharaoh needs to be careful, actually. What is he doing? Oh, Hammerstorm is now diving, and Pharaoh realizing he made a big mistake. He can Mummy Wall right here to maybe block him. Okay, no, he Tormented Souls instead. I don't know about that either. Uh-oh, Galvanize coming out. Now, Mookies is coming in on Tempest, but now Mookies is the one that might need to be a little bit careful. There's the Hammerstorm stun. Glacius is out of mana, and so that could be his ultimate save. And I think it might be in the end. I don't think Glacius will have enough mana. Neither will Hammerstorm.
Hammerstorm has a power supply of 6,
oh,
2,
yes, he does. 2-1. Here comes the stun. Tempest trying to juke at the trees. No, it's not going to be enough, though. Mookies will fall. And again, that kind of started with Pharaoh. What was he thinking right there with kind of exposing himself when that stun was coming off cooldown very quickly?
I don't know. I think just kind of interesting plays altogether. But Mookie's also trying to get a little overzealous and was down there pretty much for really no reason. I mean, I don't think he was going to get a kill on either one of them. So really, what was he going to accomplish trying to be in the face of Hammerstorm and Glacius? Not really anything. Hammerstorm also did level up the Mighty Swing. I think early on here, this is not very effective, but has it turned off right now, and will eventually be able to farm quickly with that. But nonetheless, Lions is winning their laning phase, very, very much so. And this is with AL's roster and their team composition. You can't afford to have that happen. You're the ones that have to have the early game aggression. More action here in the mid lane. Here comes Zephyr being aggressive yet again. Gets the gust off onto Luna. The power throw does hit, but he barely lives with 40 HP. Yeah,
I mean, the hasted Glacius charging in right there. And Master of Arms did a pretty good job of stunning initially. Granted, the freeze still went off, but ultimately Zephyr survives. But he will have to go all the way back to base. So going to be forced to go back to base, get some regen. You said it, though. I mean, all 3 lanes it really are being won. And we talk about this all the time, how when you have a jungle against a non-jungle, you would at least expect to have the team experience advantage. It actually is in favor of Lion Esports Club. Pharaoh in the meantime in the bottom lane, once again in trouble. He is going to be stunned right there by Hammerstorm. The auto attack's coming out. Going to try to use the Galvanize to chase him down. A couple more auto attacks to do him, and Zephyr joins the party. They're only level 4, so no Typhoon by any means. But here comes Tempest. There's that Glacial Blast, and Hammerstorm probably will fall. He does have actually mana battery. There's a health point going to be used. No, but the Tormented Soul will snipe him down. It is a level 4 Tormented Soul. Mookie's thinking about chasing Glacius, but not going to do so. So the Legion team may be doing some adjustments here, as maybe sending Zephyr actually bottom to permanently now to try to pick up some farm perhaps. But, well, a good kill at least from AL coming out.
Yeah, and if you see they're actually winning in experience, and gold is pretty even despite them being down 2 hero kills to 3. That's just simply because they have a huge harming jungler in Tempest, and they have a suiciding Keeper of the Forest who's able to get basically, you know, pretty damn good farm in that lane. So. Yeah. No, Lions, they have the more aggressive heroes, so to speak, and they will, I think, certainly win in the late stages of the game with Draconis and Fade. But because that Tempest is in the jungle and Lions does not have a jungler, they're actually winning in experience early on.
Uh-oh, Tempest in a lot of trouble right here. Fade is invis, and so is a Luna. Talk about the ultimate gank squad coming out right here. And he can't blame Mookies by any means, but he is going to start falling back. He feels something is up, but here comes the opening, the auto attack. In comes the Burning Shadows. Will Zephyr get there in time? Not even close. Just too much burst damage. And like I said, though, I mean, that's just really just unlucky. Now, they did have a Ward of Sight here at the bottom rune, so maybe you could say AL should have spotted something, but nonetheless, he did get ganked. And great kill for Lion Esports Club. So now 4-2. Here early on, I mean, and the biggest thing about this, I think you were even just talking about a little bit, I mean, the Flensmeister here on Draconis, he's just been doing his own thing up top, and look at that, 345 gold per minute, he has a Sustainer finished. He's having, to say the least, a very good time here at the top lane, as, of course, you know, you kind of expect that, as it's really just a Keeper of the Forest.
I'm actually surprised Micey doesn't have more denies than this, because he's a melee with a hatchet. And he's not just any melee with the hatchet, he's Keeper of the Forest with melee and hatchet. So he does, some action here in the bottom lane here. And actually that's, Seal Kid does get taken out, but Cookies dies once again his 3rd time. I caught the tail end of that, some more action in mid at the same time, as there's the Wrath of Pharaoh hook onto Fade, and there's Tempest ultimate as well. Fade will most certainly die. So So they do get a 2-for-1 exchange, essentially. But it's seal kit as well for Cookies. And Cookies, again, he's died a 3rd time, and I keep going back to the fact that I think that this is the hero that needs the most farm.
Well, of course. I mean, he's the core of this lineup, no doubt. You know, that Zephyr really tends to be in any lineup he's in. I mean, you get him that early home of the Black Legion, the Mystic Vestments, his boots upgraded, plated greaves or whatever, and you just start pushing as a team. That's, you know, where this guy shines. And they're not going to be getting that right now. I mean, he just barely hit level 6. Obviously, he used the Typhoon down there, which helped him get a kill, but you basically was a 1-for-1 exchange, let's be honest, at the bottom lane. It just so happened that they did get a kill and a fade in the meantime in the middle lane, too. So kind of a 2-for-1 there, but yeah, the fact that he has those 3 deaths now, he's struggling to stay up there on the GPM chart. Still right now only about 220 gold per minute. Not the greatest, unfortunately. So, and I honestly do kind of question that bottle a little bit too. I mean, I know he is middle and everything, but you said it, you know, right as he got it. The Hellborn team, they've been dominating the rune control so far, and I think that's actually continued. And now that he's transitioned bottom, and Zephyr's not really a hero that's, you know, using mana constantly either. So, top lane, we do have initiation on the Keeper of the Forest. Freeze coming in on top of Fade, and Lion Esports Club is starting to snowball a little bit in a sense, especially with this Fade starting to play very active now, and that's when you know it's pretty damn scary. So,
yep, TP out coming out bottom. Here's a fight.
Yep, you see the Gustin right there, but as you mentioned, the TP's coming, and they turn it on the Master of Arms. Zephyr in trouble. Dragonflame, not enough mana for that. Galvanize going to chase, but I believe Zephyr will ultimately survive. But Lion Esports Club, they've shown this series as well, and they again, this is just this is a team that knows how to play as a team. And they support each other very, very well, as we're constantly seeing here. So
yeah, they really do. And that's another huge exchange right there. Keeper of the Forest died up top. King Plato died bottom. Hanskin, again, is off to a great start as a support. 4-1-1, 162 GPM. Only 2 CS, 12 denies, actually. But again, Hanskin having a great game early on here.
Well, even with the lack of awesome farm, I mean, this still has potential to be a group up and push team, and that's what they're going to do right here. Zephyr, Keeper, and Tempest all coming together. I mean, you just look at it. Look at all the minions and the presence that they have, and it will be a tower kill. So, again, that goes back to kind of being the saving grace here for Absolute Legends. The fact that even though they're definitely under-farmed to an extent, they can still manage to do this pretty effectively as long as it's still this early on. You know, obviously that's going to start changing a little bit, but especially if they get a secondary tower here, it could be pretty good news. Now you kind of wonder a little bit, is Lion Esports Club just going to give up this secondary tower? It looks like they may actually. This could be a free tower kill.
Yeah, they're trying to do some counter pushing right now. Top lane is going to go down to the Solar Glacius, which is great. Middle lane is being pushed as well by 2 heroes. There's the ultimate from Hammerstorm, the Bruce Strength. And it looks like Absolute Legends maybe wants to take this to the high ground, but I don't think they have any business to do so.
No. I mean, the tower is a little bit too strong here at this point. I mean, we're only now just barely 13 minutes into the game, so now you were talking about Lion Esports Club. They were just counter pushing, and they did it pretty well. I mean, the fact that they got the 2 tower kills right there themselves, you know, it's again, you know, the team you're facing against, sure. So you're fine if you're. Whoa! What? That should have been pretty obvious that was an illusion right away when the Gus did half damage of his life, but apparently Creams still figured it was the real one. Not the biggest deal. It's a shorter cooldown, but still kind of funny.
Yeah, but you think maybe they could possibly get a kill up on top lane with the Hammerstorm right now. Hammerstorm did just buy his blink, I want to assume. Yeah, it is on the courier, so it's going to be good for him. Fade is roaming around in the mid lane. Has the ultimate up. There are no sentries up right now around here. That ult's up for another 6 seconds, so it's going to fade right now. He's actually walking right into a Tempest, but choosing not to open onto him.
Yeah, again, his ultimate was just coming off cooldown or coming out of stealth right there, and obviously with the support somewhat nearby, it definitely wasn't worth the risk. So he continues to go back to the bottom lane, top lane. Hammerstorm, okay, nope, Keeper of the Forest is running up here, but you were talking about this. I mean, if Pharaoh had his ultimate right now, you know, maybe they could have set up a gank actually, but it ain't gonna happen. Hammerstorm will just pretty much walk away, and that'll be that. So you do kind of look at that a little bit more as he did use it on the illusion fade, and obviously really got nothing out of it. So bottom tower being pushed in. Look at Draconis, by the way. I mean, 460. It's gonna go up after this. 470 gold per minute now. He is getting scary. A Null Stone is very shortly to be finished on him. Then he also talked about the portal key on Hammerstorm, and I believe I just saw something for Fade. Yeah, a tablet for Fade already. So
well, it's really, really good against, like I said, Zephyr and Pharaoh.
Yeah,
it's also good against Tempest early on too, because you can use that to cancel the ultimate.
Actually, okay, so Keeper of the Force is going to port back down here. I was kind of wondering about that a little bit because they were going to they're getting ready to push top, actually. But he wants port down here to maybe stop this bottom a little bit. However, one TP from Draconis up to the top lane. Wrath of the Pharaoh missing right there.
Oh.
See, that's the thing, though. It might have been a blessing in disguise because if that connected, you could expect some TPs perhaps.
I think they would have dropped him so fast because the
true.
goo was down.
That's
the
true.
green goo is down. He would have had that damage coming out and then the negative armor on top of that. So I feel like they actually could have burst him down. Like, yeah, he's very farmed, but at this point he doesn't have that big item yet like a Nullstone. So he's only sitting at 1,000 HP. So I think that was definitely a free kill.
Yeah. So.
And at this point, I would start taking risks. Because you are an early game oriented team and you need to be pushing and fighting together as a team. Draconis is really running in here. We have the flank from Fade in the background, though.
That's why he knows he has the support. It's a lead team maybe figure something's up. Typhoon going to go down right there, and they are committing to this fight. Keep the Force out here, but a big Tempest ultimate actually. Shadow, the Dragon Flank going to be used though. Cancel that immediately. Draconis is dropping. Glacius somehow still alive. Pharaoh will fall in the background. Here comes Keeper finally. The root will come out, but do they have the follow-up damage? Fade is still chasing. Down goes Mookie's right there. Fade is still barely staying alive. Pharaoh, I believe he actually bought back. He is now back in this fight. He is chasing down. He'll be stunned by Hammerstorm. Keeper the Force going for the kill. Luna will be successful with that. The Hellfire doing a little bit of work right here. 4 minutes, all up in 4 seconds, but it's not going to matter. Fade and Hammerstorm combo together. They take out Pharaoh, and Keeper of the Forest realizing pretty quickly that he is all by himself now. So I must say, if Keeper was there initially, then it could have been a lot different. Again, it's just unfortunate he wasn't able to get there in time. And just like that, Lion Esports Club, they are just really snowballing here. You said they need to take risks. That's kind of one of them right there, and it didn't pay off, unfortunately.
Well, they got caught in the background. They got the Fade with a good Burning Shadow stun onto 2 heroes in the background. They didn't see it. I don't see them, honestly, running around with... I mean, they do have one sentry up onto Master of Arms, but he's had that for a long time. And what they really need to be doing is just grouping up and throwing those sentries down. Because I've said before, and I still stand by this, is pushing lineups are really, really good against Fade. But Fade is still able to get these ganks off successfully because... like you said, they were not all together. Keeper of the Force wasn't there. They didn't have sentries down. So they're able to basically catch them with their pants down.
Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't been working out too well, really, in both games, honestly, for AL. I mean, it's this game, it's just like the first game. It started to get a little bit too out of hand. Some mistakes were happening, questionable decisions, and before you know it, Lions was taking the first game. So at this rate, you know, if it definitely keeps up, AO will continue to be in trouble here. The Portakion Keeper of the Forest obviously will be big, and the fact that he has a level 2 root ready to go, that's definitely good news here for Absolute Legends, as well as the portal key for Mookies, for that matter. Okay, so yeah, I mean, again, I kind of look at that in 2 ways, especially with where you're at right now. I think it is a case of, you know what, that's fine. We just need to go for those big ultis and hope that we can win the fights that way. But, you know, if, you know, maybe this was more of a even game, perhaps you could argue not going to portal keys this early on might have been more effective. But Keeper of the Force attack us again. I think it really is a case of we need big ultis here. Yeah. with the way this game is going. So
the ultimate from Mookie's there was actually pretty good, but it was canceled right away by Flensmeister.
Port coming into the bottom lane. Is that Keeper? No, it's actually Pharaoh. Wrath of the Pharaoh attempt, perhaps. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. No, he is not. I think he might have spotted Fade barely, but of course, knowing that she can invis especially, just not worth the risk. But she is now invis and actually maybe looking to turn something around. Now, they do not have Flensmeister, who is pushing the top lane, but Zephyr may be open on right here. In fact, there we go. The Burning Shadow's coming out, and Zephyr dropping quickly. The power throw on top of Hammerstorm, and just like that, Zephyr gets bursted down. There was a double damage rune on Fade as well, so that no doubt helps. Here comes Keeper of the Force, a great room. Do they have the follow-up damage, especially without Zephyr? Is the big question right here. Tempest, no ultimate from him just yet. Glacial Downpour coming down. They will get the kill on Luna, it looks like. And the rest of the team going to start falling back. Burning Shadow stun. It does connect right there on the Master of Arms. And now Pharaoh the Cold burning his mana, actually. Keeper of the Force jumping back in, though. And Glacius one more auto attack from Death. Keeper chasing. We'll get the kill right there. Master of Arms barely staying alive. But no, he will fall. Great stun right there. Tempest also going down as a result. Zephyr does finally come back. He actually bought back. And now he's trying to join the rest of the team as Fade and Hammerstorm are on the run. But, I mean, look at this.
And Flensmeister
exactly. Flensmeister's just like, you guys have your fun over there. I'm going to be busy pushing your base by myself.
And Hanskin died to neutral creeps.
Oh. Oops.
Crazy. Well, no, that was, I think,
that's
in
a
the midst
good
of the
play
team.
then,
yeah. And so they're winning these fights 4v5, which is not good. And that's against this massive team fight team by AL. Yeah. I mean, and by the way, the defensive Vassal call was used on Zephyr right there. But it went away a split second afterwards because of how fast Zephyr got bursted down.
Yeah, and I mean, you have the double damage run on Fade again. It's just the coordination and the burst damage is definitely there. So it just continues to be the same story here for AL. It's just going to start snowballing more and more, and you got to wonder how many chances are left, how many bullets are left in that gun here for Absolute Legends, because you figure maybe one more. I mean, if they can somehow, get these big ultimates off from Keeper of the Force and Tempest. The Tempest ultimate is now ready. Having Zephyr also there ready to fight, obviously a big key of that. But Lions, I mean, they're doing as they should do. They're just keeping up the aggression. And here we go once again. Look at Tempest just get annihilated. You mentioned the defensive master's call coming out, but it just fades off in a matter of a second. And before you know it, he's still dead. So another great pick coming out for Lion Esports Club. And once again, AL will now have to kind of wait here for, at the very least, for Mookies to respawn to make something happen. But it continues to be also a case of Draconis is just farming. He is going to have that shrunken head here very shortly on top of the Nullstone, of course. And that means we're going to see, a big dragon here.
Yep, he's going to have that shrunken head pretty damn soon here. 540 gold per minute. And again, I just think it's kind of too late for AL. They need more farm up onto oh, there's actually the stun onto Fade, but that's an illusion, as they're going to find that out here pretty soon. Do they have a sentry down yet again? No, they still actually don't have a sentry. Master of Arms still holding that sentry. He's got dust on himself as well, but I never see them down. I never see those sentries placed. The Ward's Revelation are still always on him.
Yeah.
Cookies, he's trying to get his farm up. He's actually nearing the 300 gold per minute, but that's nowhere close to the hero that's going to just do that much more in the late game than you, and that's Flensmeister and Draconis, who's 2-0-3, 550 gold per minute.
Yeah, so I was a little bit worried there for AL. I mean, Tempest was still barely resurrecting. They almost were about to get involved in a big team fight right there, but it doesn't happen. They do group up now, and again, this is what really you figure Absolute Legends is all they can do at this point. Just hope to get a big initiation, a big team fight going out. There's a good spread as you would expect for Lion Esports Cup. Draconis is level 16, by the way, and Shrunken Head is being delivered right here. If they can manage to actually maybe make this happen before that Shrunken Head gets delivered, maybe there is that hope actually for Absolute Legends. The tower will be denied. I don't think that's necessarily the biggest deal in the world, though. They really just want to take a fight, if anything. Draconis, there's the Shrunken Head delivery, however. Hammerstorm in the jungle. He's going to be jumped on by. Here we go. Stun coming out. Draconis in the background. Cataclysmic Assault. There's that Shrunken Head being activated right there. No big ultimates just yet. Mummy Wall is going out right there. There's that Cataclysmic Assault. And look at Master of Arms and everyone else just melt away. No Tempest ult. Okay, there's the Tempest ultimate. It will be canceled immediately, though. GGs are being called, and it's just too much, man. Lion Esports Club definitely playing that game, too, very well themselves. And taking game number 2, and as a result, of course, taking the series 2-0 there, Terrell. So, yeah, just too much to handle for Absolute Legends, man.
Well, I think game 1 we saw of AL versus Lions. I think it was more of a sense of Absolute Legends not capitalizing on the lead that they had early on.
Yeah.
This game, I think, is a different story. I think this game was simply more Lions just simply outplaying, and they were playing very, very well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, congratulations to Lions, and they will move on to face SG in the next round.
Yeah, again, the Stake Green even said right there at the end, they were giving some shout-outs to Lions, and he said good luck against Stake Green. So, so good teamwork right there. Or not teamwork, but some good comments coming out right there. Some good manners. That's the word I was looking for. Anyways, here we are now. So, well, that is going to do it, obviously, for this series. And that means we will have a decent break here in between this series until the next one starts, of course, as a fairly quicker one, despite even the delays there in game number 2. But, again, I think we said on the first game. Now, game 2, sure, Lions actually did play it a lot better, I think it's safe to say. But I still kind of feel it comes down to AL. And this kind of goes back to your comment you made even yesterday on the podcast. This is a streaky team.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
Whether it's because, it's a fresh new weekend, they're waking up early here on a Saturday for being on the West Coast and being gamers after all. It just wasn't clicking. Something wasn't there for AL. And, Lion Esports Club, they'll take a win's a win, though, and they take the series 2-0. So.
Yep, congratulations to them. But after this, yeah, we will come back at, 3:30 Eastern time. I have no idea what this is. I'm so bad at Central European time.
Well, it's
21:30 Central European time. And that will be OTP in the winner's bracket versus Trademark Esports.
Yeah.
So that should be a lot of fun.
That is going to be fun. This guy not going to be playing with him. He's not going to be playing right here in the game. He's going to be casting indeed. Yeah, that wouldn't work too well. No, so we are going to be casting that series, and in about an hour and a half from now, it's safe to say, is when that should be getting rolling and getting going. So again, we are going to have a fairly shorter or fairly longer break here. And I believe with that said, we are also probably going to turn off the stream. Okay, so yeah, there's no point to keep it on, obviously, for this downtime here. So definitely take a break up with us. You know, go grab lunch, dinner, wherever you are. You know, do some jumping jacks, push-ups maybe. I know I'll be doing those. And be looking to come back in about an hour and a half from now, where we will have One Trick Pony taking on Trademark Esports in that winners bracket finals matchup. It should be a doozy. And should be a lot of fun. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think we might as well just wrap things up here for this cast. So once again, I was Breaky CBK, as always, joined by Teralphamidor. Stay tuned. Hour and a half from now, OTP taking on TDM. See you then.